Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW and TEW 2020. We are here first week of November 2021, just 2 weeks out from the Full Gear pay-per-view. Start off with our Dark, as Ricky Starks defeats Donovan Dijak, part of the qualifier tournament. After this we see Makito with Abaddon. Talking to the camera, Maki says that she has not forgotten that Penelope Ford tried to embarrass her all that time ago, a few months ago. Penelope Ford put her through catering. And then she's pissed that Ford insinuated that Maki was not the cutest. She puts over that she and Abaddon work well together as a team, while Ford and Vipers clash while fighting each other, trying to ask which one of them is more attractive, when the real answer is that the cutest tag team in AEW are Maki Ito and Abaddon. Again, just playing into the in-game chemistries. Maki knows that a tag team match would just end in disaster for those two, so she doesn't even bother, saying that she can prove that she is the cutest. Ford and Vipers having a chance to come back from it. What does this mean? I don't know. We'll find out. After this, the Hit Squad defeat the Gun Club. Utami Hayashishita defeats Alexia Nicole. Utami does have a broken nose. 149 with a Samoan drop. After this complete squash match, Utami looks over to ringside where Rosemary is. Rosemary nods. Utami picks up Nicole, hits her with an air raid crash, then she gets to her feet after eliminating yet another woman with that devastating move. She's taking out Julia Hart with it, who was taken out for a week, and then was still very obviously injured in the finals match last week. Jonathan Gresham continues his winning streak in this tournament, currently undefeated as he defeats Andrew Everett. After this, Britt Baker hosts another episode of The Waiting Room, with the special guest being the new Nightmare family except for Bianca Corelli. Baker asks how it feels for all of them to be getting their first big breaks on any sort of major company. And all of them put over was a massive opportunity for them. While Roxy and Jimmy Shane have won championships in some minor promotions, ROW for Roxy, and then OCW, OWC? OCW. Yeah. For Jimmy, they're all ready to make it on the big time with AEW. And Britt turns the attention then to Lavender Sky, Brock Anderson, Lucas Fenrir, who are all rookies in the business, and all of them say that they're grateful for the opportunity to get their first big break in AEW. And Britt Baker says that while she enjoyed that she had her first real exposure with AEW, she did wrestle in some minor indie promotions before then, as well as a squash match on Raw against Nia Jax. None of the Nightmare family will ever reach the heights that she is at. Or her assistant, Cynthia Regal. Just a good way to just see how we're doing with some of the speaking. Jimmy Shane doing quite well. Cynthia Regal working well as well. Roxy, Lavender Sky, Lucas Fenrir, not the best, but still, Fenrir is a guy who has a lot of star quality, not a lot of mic skill. I'll have to find some way for... I'll eventually try to get these guys over. That's one thing I really need to work on. Getting some unimportant people over. And Nightmare Family is going to be the first step towards that. Takahashi then defeats Frankie Kazarian with a time bomb. Isaiah Cassidy defeats Kip Sabian. I'm used to always putting the winner in the first slot. Isaiah Cassidy defeats Kip Sabian. Then after the match, the Butcher, Blade, and Bunny all come to the ramp, with the Bunny on the mic. She tells Cassidy about how he's now all alone, with Butcher and Blade having taken down both his tag team partner and his quote-unquote mentor, with the Godfather, to put them on the shelf for the upcoming future. Cassidy manages to keep cool, he just waits in the ring, he's pacing back and forth, he's still at the ready, to see if the Butcher and Blade are going to do anything about this physically. And after there's some obvious improvisation by the Bunny, or at least acted like it, who knows. Butcher and the Blade then both rush into the ring. Cassidy only manages to avoid them, however. He does get a few hits in them, but none of them knock either of the big men down before he runs away. Hybrid 2 then defeats Bear Country in Helico 61 performance. Quite nice for him. After this, we see Shotzi and Chris Statlander backstage, with Shotzi giving Chris some tips. However, before she can finish with her idea, she's approached by AJ Mendez, who is completely disgusted. Mendez talks about how she's incredibly upset at the state of women's wrestling, people pretending to be aliens or pirates or whatever the hell Shotzi's supposed to be. Chris gets offended by the insinuation that she is not a real alien, but Shotzi holds her back, saying that Mendez is just someone who's a crotchety old veteran, which pisses off Mendez, who points out that Shotzi's only 4 years younger than her. But Shotzi just doesn't reply to. Mendez shakes her head and storms off, Chris looking very angry as she does. AJ Mendez getting involved with a lot more heel stuff. Chris, Shotzi, pretty well. Their faces, Mendez is a heel. Simple as that. The North then defeats Aussie Open. Surprisingly, Josh Alexander is actually recognizable. And then, to finish things off, Vikingo gets a bit of a surprise win against Phoenix. 65 rated for our Dark. We move on to Dynamite. Beginning our episode of Dynamite, we have the Vision defeating the Dark Order. Lance Archer pins Evil Uno with a powerbomb, and Meteora combo. The Vision make defense number 5. However, Paul Heyman comes to the ramp afterwards with Brock Lesnar at his hip. He says, "You asked me to test out my enforcement? Well, here you have it. As head of talent management at AEW, I hereby vacate the AEW World Tag Team titles. At Full Gear, I will crown a new champion, and I will announce the hand-picked participants at next week's Dynamite. However, I can make one announcement right now. To ensure that the match is called on fair terms, and that these false champions will not try to ruin the match for their own selfish means, I have hand-picked my referee. And considering that some of the idiots back there can't do their jobs in big moments, the referee for the tag team title match at Full Gear will be Brock Lesnar." And the titles are vacated. Yeah, Brock Lesnar as guest referee sounds absolutely hilarious. So we're gonna do it. It's, Heyman, he's trying to make sure that the Vision don't get involved. They don't try to ruin the match, which Heyman is going to handpick people. We are a little bit low on tag teams, considering that in kayfabe, both Private Party and the Young Bucks are injured. Again, just kayfabe injuries, nothing serious there. Hardy Boys actually injured, but whatever. After this, a vignette plays at the Hardy compound where Adam Cole is waiting, sitting on a rocking chair. He says, "Unfortunately, it seems as though the Bucks will be out of action for some time. I had wished it would be longer, and I'm sure that Kenny wishes that it would be never." Wait, wish that they wouldn't be out of action. "You can't hide behind them anymore, Kenny. Sure, they may have been the ones to carry the gun. They may have been the monsters that killed me, but you were the one who made the order. I don't care if you've changed since then. I don't care that you're a good man now. What happened, happened. You sent the order to have me die. You were the one that prepared everything for my death. You were the mastermind behind it all. And at Full Gear, I will put you to rest like you tried to put me to rest forever." Obviously, again, whole base of this, Adam Cole got killed by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in BTE canon. Probably at some point during this feud, we would have had Excalibur on commentary explaining it, because Excalibur would be the one to explain it as well. Jim West would be like, "What the hell's going on?" Tony Schiavone would just be kind of there, but again, Excalibur, you'd probably explain, "Hey, so, 7 years ago, or whatever, not 7 years, 4 years ago, all this stuff happened." So yeah, Adam Cole wants his revenge on Kenny Omega at Full Gear. After this, Mayu Iwatani defeats Diana with an 83 rated performance. Afterwards, Mayu celebrating the win when Britt Baker's music hits. Mayu immediately is ready to fight back against Baker, but Dentis actually makes her way over to Diana, just completely ignores Mayu. Cynthia Regal hits Tenille in the back with a kendo stick. Baker keeps Diana in the lockjaw for a long time until backstage staff come out and physically separate the two. Could this jeopardize Britt Baker's chances at doing anything, considering that she's attacking someone, which Heyman wants as a big no-no? But we'll find out. After this, we cut to a backstage interview, where Renee Paquette is with Fuka and Okada. Paquette asks Fuka to translate for Okada, and she asks why he came here, but Fuka's not the one to respond, as Okada actually takes the question himself. He says, I have respect for Chris Jericho. I defeated him once before, and it took a lot of effort to do so. Jericho is one of the best that the world has ever seen, but when I look at MJF, I see someone with no respect for pro wrestling. He cowers behind others while flaunting himself as a true champion. You defended your title only 3 times in half a year. It's truly disappointing, but, you know, I may be mistaken. Maybe you are more than what it seems on the surface. But I'll see for myself if MJF is really worth my time. Of course, last week, after the parlay between the Inner Circle and the VIPs Club, Chris Jericho said, you know what, if you want to have the match, I'll let you choose the stipulation, but you also have to beat Okada for this. And Okada, he's really good. So, that'll be our main event for tonight. After this, our one Dynamite show will be Fred Yehi versus Will Hobbs. We're going to have one more next week, between, who is it between? Kip Sabian and Ricky Starks, I believe. Kip Sabian's one of them, I know. I forget who the second one is. But after that, we'll just do them on Dark. Gives them some exposure, but not enough. Not too much, rather. After the match, we see a vignette of Garza Jr. with the TNT Championship. He says, well, it seems as though my luck is really turning. After beating the so-called monster, Jeff Cobb, and he ran off to win the IWGP United States Championship, I've been left without a challenger. Darby Allin's trying his luck at Jon Moxley. Vikingo was unceremoniously removed from the rankings because of the Face of the Revolution tournament, and Sammy Guevara is working on the newcomer Rami Sabay. So it seems as though I'm without a match. Next up on the rankings is Eddie Kingston, but won't Eddie be in Moxley's corner for Darby's match? Who knows? Don't worry though, everyone who wants to see the beauty of the TNT champion represented on pay-per-view will get it, regardless if I have a match or not. I'll ensure it, because I am a true man of the people. Garza, just being a dick. Just doing Garza things. After this, Jeff Hardy defeats Dragon Lee. I'm pretty sure this is a match I've done multiple times, but whatever. Dragon Lee's a good jobber to the stars. Afterwards, Matt Hardy is given a microphone on the outside of the ring. He says, Adam Cole, you and your fiendish cult have stolen my house and home, and such a thing is something I can't just let go of easily. I don't care how much the Lake of Reincarnation may mean to you, what matters is that the Hardy compound. Since you took it over, I haven't been able to see Queen Rebecca or any of my children. If only I hadn't broke my knee, I would be there myself, but don't worry, I will ensure that I render your devilish plans obsolete. Top Flight and Brother Jeff will take you down in order to reclaim the compound. So Matt Hardy, he's not fully broken. He's putting some of those broken mannerisms in, the obsolete, the brother, not Brother Nero, still Brother Jeff. He's still trying to keep a hold of himself. He's still trying to be the multifarious instead of just the broken, because broken ended up on a pretty lame note with the D&D storyline, but whatever. So, Matt Hardy, he really wants the Hardy compound back, for good reason, because it's his house, and he also has a wife and 4 kids, I think. And presumably, they've been taken hostage, so, yeah. After this, we see Fergal Devitt in a pre-recorded segment. He says, 15 years ago, the Prince was born. I came to New Japan within only a few years' time. I went from on the outs, on a losing streak, to the biggest damn thing in pro wrestling. I've done everything there is to do at New Japan. Championships, whether single or tag teams, I've won tournaments, but there's something that I never got the chance to do. And now he's become IWGP United States Champion. Jeff Cobb, I'm challenging you at Full Gear for the IWGP United States Championship. US Championship for New Japan was not introduced until 2017, sometime after Devitt had already left. I want to say Devitt was gone from New Japan 2014, I think that's when Finn Balor debuted, around that time. What matters is that he didn't have a chance, didn't win the IWGP US Championship. Obviously, the more important one would be the Heavyweight Championship, because that's the real prestigious one, or the IC Championship is the game's more prestigious one. But still, it's still another chance for Devitt to go back to his roots with New Japan, try to win the United States Championship from Jeff Cobb. After this, we have Jon Moxley defeating Darby Allin, the Death Rider. After a hard-fought match, Moxley helps Darby up to his feet and tells him that he has the perfect place to end this best of 3 Full Gear. Darby groggily nods and agreeing to the pay-per-view match. However, out of respect for Darby, Eddie slides into the ring and says that not only will he personally go for the TNT title at Full Gear against Garza, but next week, Kingston, Moxley, and Darby will team in trios action against someone. We'll find out who next week. So yeah, again, story was to put Darby over. It's gonna be, that's already a spoiler for who's gonna win at Full Gear, but oh well. Still build that up. After this, we see Kenny Omega and Adam Page in a locker room, both of them freaked out. They're talking back and forth, but the main one is Page speaking when he says, "Look, I'm not going to directly help you. You were the one who killed him, so you're the one who has to face it. I'll be in your corner, sure, but I'm not going to be taking a bullet for you from the guy that you had Matt and Nick kill. Got it?" Again, with all of my segments, I'll say, like, the important information, quote-unquote. I'm imagining that, right now this is a 4-minute segment. Ran through it in about half a minute, partially because I speak fast, but also I'm just imagining that a lot of the times with my talking segments, there's more things being said than what I have put on the screen. I'm not going to write a full... Okay, well, except for those multi-part segments. Those are full promos, but usually one segment, angles, whatever that means. Just assume there's more going on. And after this, MJF defeats Okada. And they never, ever, ever listen to the time limit. Like, when I said it at 20 minutes, I'm hoping it's, like, in 1958. But no. 79 rating, MJF with an 80, Okada with a 77. A bit disappointing for Okada, honestly, but oh well. 79 rated show. We've been getting some really good Dynamites lately. And hopefully that will continue next week to go home for Full Gear.